November 5th, 2025. 3. Atlas reappears. The interstellar object emerges from behind the Sunday. First post-perihelion images arrive. Virtual telescope project in Italy captures 2 exposures, each 1,200 seconds long. The object sits just 8 degrees above the eastern horizon. An almost full moon sets in the background. Nautical twilight. Scientists see something impossible. A compact source of light. Sharp, defined. No cometary tail stretching away from the Sunday. No massive cloud of gas and dust. Just a point of light with a diffuse glow. This should not exist. Dr. Avi Loeb from Harvard examines the images. His calculations are clear. The object lost at least 13% of its mass during perihelion passage. 13%. That mass had to go somewhere. It should create a cloud millions of kilometers wide. A tail visible from Earth, pushed by solar radiation pressure and solar wind. Pointing away from the Sunday, there is no tail. The morphology looks similar to July observations. Hubble Space Telescope captured 3I Atlas on July 21st, a teardrop-shaped cocoon, compact, but that was before perihelion. Before the object dove close to the Sunday, before it lost 13% of its mass. Compare this to Comet Lemon. Our Naves Observatory in Spain photographs Comet Lemon on November 3rd, just 2 days earlier. Same type of telescope. Similar observation conditions. Comet Lemon displays a clear tail, bright, obvious, pointing directly away from the Sunday. Exactly as physics predicts. Exactly as every natural comet behaves. Comet Lemon follows the rules. 3I Atlas does not. The data arrives from NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, posted November 4th. New measurements covering October 31st through November 4th. The period immediately after perihelion passage on October 29th. The numbers are precise, cold, undeniable. Non-gravitational acceleration detected. 3.7 standard deviations above zero. This is not noise, not measurement error, not uncertainty. This is real. The object is accelerating in ways gravity alone cannot explain. Something pushes it. Something gives it momentum that Newton's laws do not account for. 2 components measured. Radial acceleration away from the Sun. 1.1 times 10 to the -6th astronomical units per day squared. Normalized at 1 AU heliocentric distance. Transverse acceleration relative to the Sun's direction. 3.7 times 10 to the -7th AU per day squared. Both components lie in the orbital plane of 3I Atlas. No vertical component detected. The acceleration occurs at perihelion distance, 1.3, 8 times the Earth-Sun separation, 206 million kilometers from the Sunday. The object moves at 68 kilometers per second at closest approach, blazing fast. Hyperbolic trajectory, escape velocity. This acceleration requires explanation. Momentum must be conserved. Basic physics. If the object accelerates, something must push back. The rocket effect. Gas expelled from the surface. The nucleus loses mass. The ejected material carries momentum. The object gains speed in the opposite direction. Dr. Loeb derives the calculation. Mass fraction lost equals perihelion passage time multiplied by acceleration divided by ejection velocity. Perihelion passage time, the ratio of perihelion distance to perihelion speed. 203 million kilometers divided by 68 kilometers per second, approximately 1 month. The acceleration at perihelion, 94 kilometers per day squared. These values combine the mass fraction lost equals approximately 13% divided by the ejection velocity in units of 300 meters per second. 300 meters per second is critical. This speed represents the characteristic thermal speed of molecules. At the surface temperature of 3 I Atlas near perihelion, water molecules, carbon dioxide, volatiles, heated by solar radiation, escaping into space. This is the maximum expected ejection speed for a natural comet. The physics of sublimation, the physics of evaporation, natural processes. At this ejection speed, 3I Atlas must have lost more than 13% of its mass. 13% minimum. For a natural comet, this creates consequences, massive consequences. 13% of the nucleus mass does not simply vanish. It forms a coma, a cloud of gas and dust, enormous, visible, detectable from Earth. The solar wind pushes this material outward. Solar radiation pressure acts on dust particles. A tail forms, always pointing away from the Sunday, always visible, always obvious. Every comet behaves this way, except 3I Atlas. The November 5th images show no such cloud, no massive coma, no tail extending millions of kilometers, just a compact source, a diffuse glow around the nucleus, nothing more. The contradiction is stark. Either the mass loss calculation is wrong, or the physics is wrong, or something else explains the acceleration, something that does not require 13% mass loss, something that expels gas at speeds much higher than 300 meters per second. A technological rocket engine. Dr. Loeb states the alternative clearly. A rocket engine could expel exhaust at velocities far exceeding natural thermal speeds. Chemical rockets, 3 to 4 kilometers per second. Ion drives, 30 to 50 kilometers per second. Nuclear thermal propulsion, 8 to 9 kilometers per second. At higher ejection velocities, the required mass fraction drops dramatically. If the ejection speed is 3 kilometers per second, 10 times the natural rate, then the mass loss is only 1.3%, not 13%, 1/10 the amount. This creates a much smaller coma, potentially invisible from Earth, potentially consistent with the compact appearance in the November 5th images. Two scenarios emerge. Scenario A, natural comet. Mass loss of 13% minimum. Massive gas cloud required. Cloud should be visible. Cloud is not visible. Physics violated. Scenario B, technological propulsion. Higher ejection velocity. Mass loss of 1 to 2%. Small gas cloud. Potentially invisible. Consistent with observations. Physics preserved. Both scenarios face problems. The natural scenario contradicts observation. Where is the massive coma? Where is the tail? During July through September, 3I Atlas showed no non-gravitational acceleration. Analysis of 4,022 data points from 227 observatories. Zero acceleration detected. The object coasted through space, inactive, inert. Then suddenly, at perihelion, acceleration appears. Large, significant. 3.7 standard deviations. Why the sudden change? Natural comets activate gradually. They heat slowly as they approach the Sunday volatiles begin sublimating at large distances. The coma grows steadily. The tail develops over weeks. There is no sudden switch. No on-off behavior. The physics is continuous, smooth, predictable. 3I Atlas does not behave smoothly. Inactive from July through September. Then explosive activity at perihelion. Then reappearance on November 5th with no massive tail. This pattern does not match natural cometary evolution. The technological scenario faces different problems. It requires accepting an extraordinary claim, an artificial object from another star system, a probe, a spacecraft, an interstellar traveler not bound by natural processes. This explanation saves the physics. It explains the acceleration without requiring a massive, invisible coma. But it demands evidence beyond the acceleration itself. The brightening provides a clue. Data from October 31st through November 4th shows dramatic changes. 3I Atlas brightened by a factor of approximately 5 in the green band, centered at a wavelength of 0.464 micrometers. Factor of 5. Not gradual, not slow, explosive. Comets brighten as they approach the Sunday. This is expected. Solar heating increases. More volatiles sublimate. More surface area becomes active. But the rate matters. The speed of brightening matters. 3I Atlas brightened faster than any known comet. Not just faster, drastically faster, unprecedentedly faster. The acceleration of brightness increase exceeded all previous observations. Scientists using space-based solar observatories tracked the object. SOHO, Stereo A, GOES 19 weather satellite. All recorded the same thing. Rapid, extreme, unusual. The color changed too. 3I Atlas appeared blue near perihelion, bluer than the Sunday. This surprised scientists. Comets typically appear red. Dust reflects sunlight. Dust particles scatter light. Red wavelengths dominate. This is standard. This is normal. This is how comets look. Blue light suggests something different. Hot gas emission. High temperature processes. Not just reflected sunlight. Not just dust scattering. Active emission at short wavelengths. This could indicate carbon monoxide ionized by solar ultraviolet radiation. CO+ emission produces blue-green light. Natural comets can show this. But, combined with the rapid brightening, the blue color raises questions. Could it be a hot engine exhaust? Rocket engines produce high-temperature plumes, thousands of degrees. Such plumes emit light across the spectrum. Short wavelengths dominate at high temperatures. Blue, ultraviolet. This emission would not require massive dust clouds, would not require 13% mass loss, would require only a small amount of expelled propellant, heated to extreme temperatures. Glowing blue-white. This is speculation, but the speculation has structure, mathematical structure, physical structure. The acceleration requires momentum transfer. Momentum transfer requires mass ejection. Mass ejection at natural speeds requires 13% loss. 13% loss requires massive visible coma. No massive coma is visible. Therefore, either physics is broken or ejection speeds are not natural. If ejection speeds are not natural, technology is implied. The images from November 5th provide the test. If 3I Atlas is a natural comet, post-perihelion observations should reveal the gas cloud. 13% of the nucleus mass ejected over 1 month. This material disperses. Solar wind pushes it outward. But it remains detectable. Spectroscopy can identify molecules: carbon dioxide, water, carbon monoxide, cyanide, hydrogen. The cloud should glow in ultraviolet, should show emission lines, should leave a signature. The virtual telescope images show none of this. Compact morphology, diffuse inner coma, no extended tail, no massive cloud structure. Similar appearance to July 21st Hubble image. Before perihelion, before the supposed 13% mass loss. How can this be? Dr. Loeb proposes a clean test. The test requires waiting. December 2025, the James Webb Space Telescope will conduct spectroscopic observations. Webb can detect faint gas clouds, can measure molecular composition, can determine if the 13% mass is present in space around 3I Atlas. If the gas cloud exists, Webb will see it. Spectroscopy will reveal carbon dioxide, water vapor, carbon monoxide, organic molecules, the interior composition of 3I Atlas. Not just the surface, not just the skin, the deep interior material, ejected during perihelion passage, exposed to space, available for analysis. This gas cloud must be much more evident than during the summer months. From July through September, 3I Atlas showed minimal activity, small coma, no significant outgassing. The spectroscopic observations from that period found water, found carbon dioxide, but in modest amounts, consistent with surface sublimation, not consistent with 13% mass loss. If Webb observes in December and finds similar modest activity, the natural scenario fails. The gas is not there. The 13% is missing. The mass loss did not happen through natural sublimation. Something else caused the acceleration. Something that did not leave a massive gas cloud. Something technological. But if Webb finds a huge cloud, 10 times more gas than July measurements, the natural scenario is validated. The object is a comet, an unusual comet. Perhaps the most unusual ever observed, but still natural. Still following physics. The lack of visible tail in November 5th images would require explanation. Perhaps viewing geometry, perhaps dust properties, perhaps solar wind conditions. But the fundamental question would be answered. Natural versus technological. December will decide. 4 weeks away. The clock is ticking. The brightening is not random. Factor of 5 increase in green band wavelength. 0.464 micrometers. This is specific, measurable. The data comes from multiple observatories. Cross-verified, confirmed. Between October 31st and November 4th, 3I Atlas increased its brightness by 500%. No comet has ever done this. Natural comets follow power laws. Brightness increases proportionally to some inverse power of heliocentric distance. The closer to the Sun, the brighter the comet. But the relationship is smooth, predictable, calculable. Scientists model this using decades of observations. Thousands of comets. Clear patterns. 3I Atlas breaks the pattern. The rate of brightening acceleration exceeds models by orders of magnitude. This is not a subtle deviation, not a small anomaly. This is a complete departure from expected behavior. The brightness curve steepens dramatically, exponentially, as if someone turned up the intensity. Space-based observatories track the object through perihelion. GOES-19 weather satellite observes from October 18th through 24th. Objects down to magnitude 12 become visible. 3I. Atlas appears as a moving point source, brightness increasing daily. Solar and Heliospheric Observatory continues tracking. SOHO has watched the Sun for nearly 30 years, has observed thousands of comets diving toward our star, sun-grazing comets, Kreutz Group comets. Most vaporize completely. Some survive. None behave like 3I Atlas. The polarimeter to unify the corona and heliosphere joins observation. Punch mission, designed to study solar wind, to map coronal mass ejections, to understand how the Sun's atmosphere extends into space. But on October 29th, Punch turns its instruments toward 3I Atlas. The comet passes through the field of view, close to the Sunday, hidden from ground telescopes, visible only from space. Punch records the brightening, frame by frame, hour by hour. The object grows brighter, not linearly, not following standard models, accelerating. Each measurement shows more light than the previous one predicted. Something drives this increase, something beyond simple solar heating. This is the third color change. Live Science reports on November 5th. 3. I-Atlas has changed color 3 times during its journey. First observation, reddish. Typical comet appearance, dust reflecting sunlight. Second phase, shift toward yellow, white, more activity. Gas emission mixing with reflected light. Third phase, blue. Blue is wrong. Comets are dirty snowballs, ice mixed with dust and rock. When heated, they release gas and dust. The dust creates the coma and tail. Dust particles are large compared to light wavelengths. They scatter all colors roughly equally, but slightly favor red wavelengths. This is why comets look red or yellow-white. This is standard cometary physics. Blue requires different physics. 2 explanations exist. Both involve gas. Ionized gas. Carbon monoxide ions produce blue-green emission when excited by solar ultraviolet radiation. Natural comets rich in CO can show this color. Comet C/2016 R2 displayed strong CO+ emission, appeared distinctly blue-green. This is possible. This is natural. But 3I Atlas shows other unusual properties. The ratio of nickel to iron is wrong. Spectroscopic observations from summer months detected nickel vapor. Lots of nickel, much more nickel than iron. This ratio is inverted compared to natural comets. Natural comets show iron to nickel ratios matching solar abundances, or matching carbonaceous chondrites. Primitive meteorites, building blocks of planets. Industrial alloys favor nickel. Stainless steel, superalloys, corrosion-resistant materials. These contain more nickel than iron, much more. The spectrum of 3I Atlas resembles industrial metal vapor, not natural rock vapor. The nickel to cyanide ratio is even stranger. Cyanide is common in comets. Hydrogen cyanide, CN radicals. These molecules produce strong emission bands, easy to detect, used to estimate comet activity. 3I Atlas shows cyanide. But the ratio of nickel to cyanide is orders of magnitude higher than normal comets. Orders of magnitude. Not twice as high, not 10 times, hundreds of times, including 2I Borisov, the previous interstellar comet. Discovered in 2019, origin outside the solar system. 2I Borisov behaved normally, showed expected composition. Carbon monoxide, rich, water present. Cyanide detected. Ratios consistent with natural formation. A comet from another star system, but still a comet, still following the rules. 3I Atlas does not follow the same rules. The probability of the nickel anomaly occurring naturally, less than 1%. The probability of the nickel to cyanide ratio occurring naturally, less than 1%. These are independent measurements, independent anomalies, both pointing to unusual composition. The water content adds another layer. Only 4% water by mass. Comets are primarily ice. Water ice dominates. 50% water is typical, 70% for some. Water is the most abundant volatile, the most important component. It drives cometary activity, creates the bright coma, produces the hydrogen cloud. Water defines what a comet is. 4% is impossibly low. For comparison, 2I Borisov showed normal water content, similar to solar system comets. The spectrum displayed strong water bands, clear signatures, behaved as expected. 3. I Atlas shows weak water signatures, very weak, only 4%. This is closer to an asteroid than a comet. Asteroids are rocky, dry, almost no volatiles, yet 3I Atlas is clearly active. The coma is visible. Gas emission is detected. Non-gravitational acceleration proves mass loss. Something is outgassing. If not water, then what? Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. These are present. But in what quantities? In what ratios? The composition is bizarre. Unlike any solar system comet, unlike 2I Borisov, unlike anything natural, the polarization measurements compound the mystery. Light from 3I Atlas shows extreme negative polarization, unprecedented for comets. All known comets, thousands of them, show positive or weakly negative polarization. The way dust particles scatter light creates specific patterns. These patterns depend on particle size, shape, composition. But they fall within known ranges. 3I Atlas falls outside. The polarization signature does not match any comet in the database. Not solar system comets. Not 2I Borisov. The probability of this occurring naturally, less than 1%. Third, independent anomaly with probability below 1% threshold. Multiply probabilities together. Nickel ratio, less than 1%. Water content anomaly, implicit in the 4% measurement. Polarization, less than 1%. If these are independent, the combined probability drops far below 0.1%, below 0.01%. This assumes natural explanations. If the explanations are not natural, probabilities change. Technological artifacts can have any composition, any ratio, any properties, not constrained by natural formation processes, not bound by solar system averages. An engineered object from another civilization would show whatever composition its builders desired. This is speculation, but the speculation is motivated by data, hard data, measurements, calculations, not imagination, not wishful thinking. The numbers are real. The anomalies are real. The question is how to interpret them. The non-gravitational acceleration provides another data point, 3.7 standard deviations. In statistics, this is significant. 5 sigma is gold standard. 3 sigma is noteworthy. It means the signal is real, not noise, not fluctuation. Something causes the acceleration, something measurable, something consistent. The acceleration has 2 components, radial and transverse. Both lie in the orbital plane. No perpendicular component detected. This is important. If the acceleration were purely radial, pointing away from the sun, it would match simple cometary outgassing. Sunlight heats the surface. Gas escapes, pushes the comet outward. Simple, natural, but the transverse component changes things. Transverse acceleration means sideways push, not directly away from the sunday, not along the comet's velocity vector, sideways. This requires asymmetric outgassing, active regions on the nucleus surface, jets pointing in specific directions. As the nucleus rotates, these jets create transverse forces. Natural comets show this. Comet 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko, visited by Rosetta spacecraft. Detailed mapping revealed active regions, specific locations outgassing more than others. As 67P rotated, these jets created non-gravitational forces, both radial and transverse components. This is natural. This is understood. 3I Atlas could behave similarly. Asymmetric outgassing from rotating nucleus. This would produce transverse acceleration. This would match observations. But the magnitude matters. The amount of transverse versus radial acceleration matters. The ratio provides clues about nucleus shape, rotation rate, active region distribution. For 3I Atlas, transverse acceleration is roughly 1/3 of radial acceleration, 3.7 times 10 to negative 7th versus 1.1 times 10 to negative 6th. The ratio is approximately 0.33 1/3. This ratio depends on geometry, on how jets are oriented, on rotation period. If the rotation is slow, days or weeks, transverse effects average out. If the rotation is fast, hours, transverse effects dominate at specific times but average over orbits. The measured transverse component represents some average, some effective value over observation period. The value was reduced. Compared to October 29th measurements, the non-gravitational acceleration decreased by 1/3. Still significant, still detected, but smaller. This could indicate decreasing activity, less outgassing as the comet moves away from perihelion, natural behavior, expected. Or it could indicate something else. Engine shutdown, throttle down, reduced thrust. If the acceleration came from technological propulsion, the decrease could reflect mission planning. Perihelion maneuver complete. Main burn finished. Coast phase initiated. This is how spacecraft operate. Chemical rockets burn for minutes or hours, then shut down. Momentum carries the spacecraft forward. 3I Atlas could be coasting now. The acceleration may drop further, may become undetectable. If it disappears completely over the next weeks, this would match spacecraft behavior. If it continues at reduced but steady level, this would match persistent outgassing. Natural comets show activity for months after perihelion, gradually declining, smoothly decreasing. December observations will reveal the trend. Is acceleration dropping to zero or dropping to low, steady level? The difference matters. Zero acceleration after perihelion is unusual for active comets. Low, steady acceleration is normal. The data will discriminate. Meanwhile, the trajectory itself is anomalous. Retrograde orbit, moving opposite to planets. Unusual, but not impossible. Interstellar objects can arrive from any direction, but the orbital plane alignment is striking. 3I Atlas moves within 5 degrees of the ecliptic plane, the plane containing Earth, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, the plane defining the solar system's geometry. 5 degrees is close, very close. Most interstellar objects should arrive from random directions. Galactic space is three-dimensional, isotropic. Stars surround the sun in all directions. Objects ejected from other systems should show no preference for our ecliptic plane. Yet 3I Atlas aligns. The probability of this alignment, 0.2%, 2 per thousand. Unlikely, but not impossible. Chance happens. Statistical fluctuations occur. But combined with other anomalies, the pattern strengthens. The arrival timing is even more precise. 3I Atlas trajectory brought it close to Mars on October 3rd, within 30 million kilometers. Close to Venus, close to Jupiter, all within tens of millions of kilometers. These are planetary scale distances, small on solar system scale, large for targeted approach. The timing placed perihelion on October 29th. During this time, 3I Atlas was unobservable from Earth. Behind the Sunday, ground-based telescopes could not track it. Only space-based solar observatories maintained line of sight. This timing is convenient. If someone wanted to perform maneuvers unobserved from Earth, perihelion passage behind the Sun is ideal. The probability of this arrival timing, 0.005%, 5 per 100,000. Very unlikely. This calculation includes the close approaches to multiple planets plus the Earth-Sun geometry. All factors combined, all coinciding. This could be chance, or it could be planning. A probe from another civilization might choose this trajectory deliberately. Approach multiple planets for observation. Time perihelion passage for minimal Earth observation. Accomplish mission objectives while limiting detection. This is what human spacecraft do. Plan trajectories carefully. Optimize for multiple targets. Minimize exposure to hostile observation. Is 3I Atlas doing the same? The hypothesis is extraordinary. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The evidence so far is suggestive, anomalous, but not conclusive. Each individual anomaly has low probability, but each remains possible. Combined probabilities drop dramatically, below 0.001% for all factors together. At what point does unlikely become impossible? At what point does statistical anomaly become proof of artificiality? The scientific community debates this. Dr. Loeb argues for serious consideration. Not acceptance, not conclusion, but consideration. The data warrants investigation, warrants open minds. Other scientists urge caution. Comets are complex, not fully understood. Each comet is unique. 3I Atlas is the third interstellar comet ever observed. Sample size of 3 is tiny, too small for statistical significance. Maybe interstellar comets are just different. Maybe their formation environments produce unusual compositions, unusual behaviors. Maybe nickel-rich, water-poor, blue glowing comets are normal in other star systems. Maybe, but maybe not. Comet Lemon provides the reference point. November 3rd. R. Naves Observatory in Spain captures the image Comet C/2025 A6 Lemon from our solar system. Natural origin, standard composition. The photograph shows exactly what physics predicts. A clear tail. Bright, obvious. Extending away from the Sunday, the classic cometary appearance. Dust and gas pushed by solar radiation. The tail streams behind the nucleus, millions of kilometers long. Visible even in amateur telescopes. This is normal. This is how comets work. Compare to 3I Atlas. Same observation window, same types of telescopes, similar viewing geometry. But the appearance is completely different. 3I Atlas shows a compact core, diffuse inner coma, no extended tail structure, no streaming gas cloud, nothing matching Comet Lemon. Both objects passed near the Sun recently. Both experience solar heating. Both should outgas. Both should create tails. One does, one does not. The difference is stark, undeniable, photographically documented. Why? The standard explanation invokes mass loss. Comets create tails by losing mass. Volatiles sublimate from the nucleus surface. Solar wind carries the gas away. Radiation pressure pushes dust particles outward. The more mass lost, the bigger the tail. Simple relationship, well established. 3I Atlas lost 13% minimum. This should create a massive tail, much larger than Comet Lemon, much more obvious. Yet, the opposite is observed. No tail. Compact appearance, This contradiction demands resolution. Dr. Loeb frames the test clearly. If 3I Atlas is natural, massive gas cloud must exist. The 13% of ejected mass did not vanish. It dispersed into space around the comet. Solar wind pushed it outward. But the molecules remain. Carbon dioxide, water, carbon monoxide. These should be detectable. Webb telescope will search in December. Spectroscopy reveals molecular signatures. Each molecule absorbs and emits light at specific wavelengths. Carbon dioxide shows bands in infrared. Water displays characteristic features. Carbon monoxide has distinct lines. Webb instruments can detect these. If the gas exists, Webb will find it. The telescope will point at 3I Atlas location, integrate for hours, collect photons, build spectrum. The molecules will reveal themselves. Their quantities can be measured, their velocities determined. The gas cloud can be mapped. 13% of nucleus mass. If the nucleus diameter is 5 kilometers, using typical comet density, the mass is approximately 50 billion tons. 13% equals 6.5 billion tons. 6.5 billion tons of gas ejected over 1 month. This creates a cloud tens of millions of kilometers across, expanding at hundreds of meters per second. Still dense enough for detection. Webb sensitivity is extraordinary. Can detect molecules at parts per billion. Can see faint emissions invisible to other telescopes. Can penetrate dust. Can measure temperatures, velocities, compositions. If the gas cloud exists, Webb will characterize it completely. But what if the gas cloud is not there? What if Webb observes and finds only modest activity? Similar to July measurements, small amounts of water and carbon dioxide, nothing approaching 13% mass loss? This would falsify the natural comet scenario. The mass did not leave through natural sublimation. The acceleration came from something else. Something requiring much less mass loss. Something expelling gas at high velocity. Something technological. The alternative is rocket propulsion. Chemical rockets exhaust at 3 to 4 kilometers per second, 10 times natural sublimation speed. At this velocity, only 1.3% mass loss required, 1/10 the natural amount. This creates smaller gas cloud, potentially invisible in November 5th images. Potentially below Webb detection threshold. If observations occur weeks after the burn, the exhaust would be hot, thousands of degrees. Combustion temperatures. This produces thermal emission, glowing gas, blue-white light from blackbody radiation. This could explain the blue color observed near perihelion. Not CO+ emission, not ionized molecules, just hot exhaust, incandescent plasma. The brightening fits this model. Rocket engines turn on, thrust builds, exhaust plume grows, brightness increases rapidly, faster than natural sublimation predicts, factor of 5 over several days, consistent with engine operation, with controlled burn, with deliberate maneuvering. Then engine shuts down, thrust decreases, exhaust stops, brightness drops. Non-gravitational acceleration reduces by 1/3, still present but declining. This matches post-burn behavior. Residual outgassing. Cooling components. Thermal dissipation. This is speculation. But it is testable speculation. Predictions follow. If this model is correct, acceleration should continue dropping, should approach zero within weeks. Gas cloud should remain small. Webb should find minimal emissions. The object should return to inactive state, like July through September. Coasting, inert. If natural comet model is correct, predictions differ. Activity should persist for months. should decline gradually, smoothly. Gas cloud should be enormous. Webb should see strong emissions. Tail should develop as Earth viewing geometry improves. Dust should become visible. December will decide. 4 weeks from November 5th. 4 weeks of waiting. 4 weeks of uncertainty. The object continues moving, getting farther from Sunday, getting dimmer, but still observable, still trackable, still measurable. Ground-based telescopes resume observations. The object emerges from solar glare, becomes visible in pre-dawn sky. November 11th onward, amateur astronomers can contribute. Professional observatories can schedule time. Every data point matters. Every image provides information. What will they see? The morphology of 3I Atlas over coming weeks reveals its nature. Does tail develop? Does coma expand? Does brightness decline smoothly or drop suddenly? Does color return to red or remain blue? Does polarization normalize or stay anomalous? Each measurement constrains possibilities. Natural versus artificial. Comet versus probe. Random interstellar object versus designed mission. The data will discriminate. Not all at once. Not with single observation, but progressively. Week by week. Measurement by measurement. The truth will emerge. Consider the anomalies already documented. 10 separate issues, 10 statistical improbabilities. Not 1, not 2, 10, each independent, each below or near 1% probability threshold, some far below. Anomaly 1. Trajectory alignment. Retrograde orbit within 5 degrees of ecliptic, probability 0.2%, 2 per thousand. Unusual but conceivable. Maybe interstellar objects prefer equatorial approaches. Maybe galactic dynamics create bias. Possible explanations exist. Anomaly 2. The antitail. July and August observations showed sunward jet, pointing toward the Sunday, not away. Anti-tail structure, not optical illusion, not perspective effect. Real material moving sunward, against radiation pressure, against solar wind. This is not natural, requires explanation. Natural comets show antitails. But these are perspective effects. Dust lying in orbital plane, viewed edge-on, appears to point sunward, actually points backward along orbit. Perspective tricks the eye. This is well understood. Common phenomenon. 3. I Atlas antitail is different. Analysis shows it is not geometric illusion. The material actually moves sunward against expected forces. This requires mechanisms, active jets, specific orientations, rotating nucleus with very particular geometry. Possible but unusual. Low probability, or intentional maneuvering. Thrust vectoring. Directional control. Attitude adjustment. Spacecraft do this routinely. Fire thrusters in chosen directions. Change orientation. Change velocity. The antitail could be exhaust plume, could be visible evidence of propulsive maneuver. Anomaly 3. Mass comparison. 3I Atlas nucleus is enormous, million times more massive than 1I Oumuamua, 1,000 times more massive than 2I Borisov. Both previous interstellar objects were small, tens of meters, hundreds of meters. 3I Atlas is kilometers, 5 or more kilometers diameter. Large objects are rare. Size distribution of interstellar objects should follow power law. Many small objects, few large objects. The probability of detecting a large object is low, much lower than detecting small object. Yet the third interstellar detection is the largest. Combined with high speed, probability drops further. 3. I. Atlas moves faster than both predecessors, 58 kilometers per second relative to Sunday, compared to 26 for Oumuamua, 32 for Borisov. Faster objects spend less time in solar system, less time available for detection. Detection probability decreases with speed. Large and fast together, probability below 0.1%. This could be selection bias. Maybe we are lucky. Maybe rare events happen. 3 is small sample size. Not enough for statistical conclusions. But combined with other anomalies, the pattern strengthens. Anomaly 4. Arrival timing. Close approaches to Mars, Venus, Jupiter, all within tens of millions of kilometers, plus perihelion on October 29th, hidden from Earth, behind Sunday. Perfect timing for unobserved maneuvers. Probability 0.005%. 5 per 100,000. This is very low, not impossible, but highly improbable. If trajectory were random, odds of this specific timing are minuscule. If trajectory were designed, timing makes sense. Visit multiple planets. Perform perihelion burn while hidden. Logical mission profile. Anomaly 5. Nickel to iron ratio. Much more nickel than iron. Inverted from natural ratios, similar to industrial alloys. Stainless steel, superalloys. Corrosion-resistant materials. Engineering choices, not natural formation. Probability below 1%. Maybe the parent star system has unusual composition. Maybe the protoplanetary disk was nickel-rich. Maybe formation conditions favored nickel retention. Possible, but unusual. Low probability. Or maybe the object is manufactured, made from refined metals, processed materials. Not natural rock. Not primitive aggregates. Designed components. Engineered structure. This would explain nickel ratio immediately. No improbable formation required, just technology. Anomaly 6. Water content. 4%. Comets are ice. Water dominates. 50 to 70% typical. 4% is asteroid-like. Rocky. Dry. Yet the object is active. Outgassing. Creating coma. This combination is contradictory. Unless water is not the propellant, if thrust comes from chemical rockets, water content is irrelevant. Propellant could be hydrazine, could be liquid oxygen and hydrogen, could be any reactive chemicals stored in tanks, not frozen in nucleus, released through nozzles, not sublimating from surface. This explains low water. The nucleus is not ice-rich. It is structure-rich. Tanks, machinery, systems. Water is minor component, not primary constituent. The object only appears comet-like because it releases gas. But the gas is not from cometary sublimation. It is from propulsion system. Anomaly 7. Polarization. Extreme negative values. Unprecedented. All known comets show different polarization. Thousands of measurements. Clear patterns? 3. I-Atlas falls outside patterns, completely outside. Probability below 1%. This could mean unusual dust properties, unique grain sizes, special compositions, not matching any solar system materials, possible in alien star system, different formation environment, different building blocks, or non-natural surfaces, metal surfaces, smooth panels, manufactured components. These would show different polarization than dust particles, would fall outside natural ranges, would appear anomalous, exactly as observed. Anomaly 8. WOW signal alignment. The object arrived from direction within 9 degrees of the famous 1977 radio signal, the WOW signal, strongest candidate for extraterrestrial transmission ever detected, never repeated, never explained. Direction marked, remembered. 3I Atlas comes from same region. 9 degrees separation. Probability 0.6%. 6 per thousand. Not impossible, but notable, especially combined with all other anomalies. Coincidence accumulation becomes suspicious. If WOW signal was beacon, 3I Atlas could be response. 48 years later, travel time. The signal transmitted in 1977 reaches target star system. Technology detects it. Civilization responds. Sends probe. Arrives 2025. The timeline fits. The direction fits. The hypothesis fits. This is extreme speculation. But the alignment is real. The probability is calculable. The coincidence is measurable. Dismissing it requires assuming random chance. Accepting it requires accepting extraordinary implications. Anomaly 9. Extreme brightening. Near perihelion 3. I Atlas. Brightened faster than any known comet. The rate of brightness increase was unprecedented. Steeper curve, sharper rise. No natural comet matches this behavior. Blue color compounds the anomaly. Comets are red. Dust dominated. 3. I Atlas turned blue. Hottest color. Highest temperature emission. Combined with rapid brightening, this suggests energetic processes. Beyond simple solar heating. Beyond natural sublimation. Rocket exhaust explains both. High temperature plume. Thermal emission. Rapid brightness increase as engine throttles up. Blue-white glow from hot gas. All consistent. All predicted. Anomaly 10. Missing gas cloud. November 5th images. No tail. No massive coma. Despite 13% mass loss required by measured acceleration, the gas should be visible, should be obvious, should be undeniable. It is not there. This is the newest anomaly, the latest contradiction. Post-perihelion observation revealing impossible absence. The gas that must exist does not appear to exist. The cloud that physics demands is not photographically present. Either physics is wrong or assumptions are wrong. Physics is rarely wrong. Momentum conservation is fundamental. Mass loss calculation is straightforward. Arithmetic is simple. The 13% follows necessarily from measured acceleration and natural ejection velocities. Therefore, assumptions must be wrong. The ejection velocity is not natural. Not 300 meters per second. Much higher. Thousands of meters per second. Rocket speeds. This reduces required mass loss. Below visibility threshold. Below detection limit in preliminary images. Webb will test this. In December, spectroscopy will settle the question. Either the gas is there and Webb finds it, or the gas is not there and Webb confirms absence. Either natural comet with invisible massive cloud, or technological artifact with small high-velocity exhaust. One answer fits physics and observation. The other requires accepting uncomfortable conclusions. 4 weeks remain. The observations continue. The data accumulates. The scientific community watches. Some hope for natural explanation. Some remain open to alternatives. All wait for December. 3. I Atlas moves outward. Away from Sunday, away from Earth. Heading back to interstellar space. The window of opportunity closes. Once it departs, it will never return, never be observable again. This is the only chance. The only opportunity to determine its nature, December 2025, may answer the question, or may deepen the mystery. Two scenarios remain on the table. Each has strengths, each has weaknesses. Neither is comfortable, neither is simple. The data forces this choice. The measurements demand interpretation. Scientists must choose. Natural or artificial, comet or probe, random or designed. Scenario A. Natural comet from alien star system. The object formed billions of years ago, 7 to 14 billion years around a distant star. In a protoplanetary disk, ices and rocks accreted. Gravitational perturbations ejected it, sent it into interstellar space. It wandered the galaxy, encountered our solar system by chance, pure coincidence. Its composition reflects alien formation environment. Different star, different chemistry, different building blocks. Nickel-rich instead of iron-rich. Carbon monoxide, dominant instead of water. Unusual dust properties. Strange polarization. All explainable as alien normal. Different does not mean artificial. Different means foreign, from elsewhere, from other conditions. The brightening reflects volatile mixtures, complex chemistry. Multiple species sublimating. Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, organics. Each contributes to brightness. Combined effects create rapid increase. The blue color comes from carbon monoxide ions, CO+ emission. Natural process. Observed in other comets. Just more extreme here. More concentrated. The acceleration comes from asymmetric outgassing. The nucleus rotates. Active regions face sunward. Jets form, gas escapes. Rocket effect creates non-gravitational forces. This is standard cometary behavior. 67P showed this. Wild 2 showed this. Halley showed this. Natural, understood, modeled successfully. The missing tail is viewing geometry, or dust composition, or solar wind conditions, or temporary suppression. The gas exists but is not visible yet. Will become apparent in coming weeks. Will develop as orbit geometry improves. As Earth viewing angle changes, patience required. More observations needed. The anomalies are coincidence. 10 low probability events. Combined probability is tiny, but tiny is not zero. Improbable things happen. Statistics allows fluctuations. 3 interstellar objects detected. Third one is weird. Not impossible, just unlikely. Sample size too small for conclusions. This scenario preserves natural universe. No intelligence required. No technology implied. Just physics. Just chemistry. Just chance. The universe is large, contains trillions of stars, billions of planetary systems, many formation environments. Some produce unusual objects. We detected one. That is all. This scenario has problems. 13% mass loss with no visible gas cloud. This is difficult to explain naturally. Viewing geometry can hide tails, but not completely. Some signature should appear. Some evidence should exist. November 5th shows nothing. Later observations show nothing so far. Absence of evidence becomes evidence of absence. The nickel ratio remains troubling. Industrial alloy composition. Not natural rock. Not chondrites. Not solar abundances. Requires special formation. Requires unlikely conditions. Adds improbability to improbability. The timing is suspicious. Close approaches to multiple planets. Hidden perihelion passage. Statistical probability is extremely low. Not impossible, but very improbable. Requires accepting unlikely coincidence on top of other unlikely coincidences. The anti-tail lacks convincing explanation. Perspective effects are well understood. This is not perspective. Material actually moves sunward against radiation pressure. Requires asymmetric jets with very specific geometry. Possible, but contrived. Feels like forced explanation. 10 anomalies collectively strain credulity. Each individually is possible. Altogether is problematic. Bayesian reasoning suggests reconsidering priors. If natural probability is extremely low, alternative hypotheses gain credibility. Even previously dismissed hypotheses. Scenario B. Technological artifact from extraterrestrial civilization. An advanced civilization exists around a distant star. They detected electromagnetic emissions from our solar system, radio, television, radar, or detected chemical signatures in Earth atmosphere, oxygen, methane, biosignatures, or detected technological signatures, artificial lights, industrial pollution, megastructures. They decided to investigate, built a probe, Interstellar spacecraft, launched it toward our system. 7 billion years ago, or 1 billion, or 100 million. The exact timing is unclear. The travel time is long. Interstellar distances are vast. Even at high speed, journeys take eons. The probe arrives now. Enters solar system. Begins reconnaissance. Approaches multiple planets. Mars first, October 3rd. Close flyby. Instruments scan surface. Atmosphere. Moons. Collects data. Continues inward. Passes Venus. Jupiter. Approaches Sunday, performs perihelion maneuver. October 29th. Uses solar gravity assist. Changes trajectory. Optimizes orbit. The maneuver requires propulsion. Rocket engines fire. Chemical or nuclear or exotic. Exhaust plume emerges. Visible as brightening. Visible as blue glow. High temperature gases. Incandescent plasma. Explains factor 5. Brightness increase. Explains blue color. Explains rapid acceleration of brightness change. The thrust creates non-gravitational acceleration, measured at 3.7 standard deviations. 2 components, radial and transverse. Consistent with vectored thrust, directional control. Attitude management. The probe adjusts course, fine-tunes trajectory, prepares for next phase. Mass loss is minimal. High exhaust velocity, 3 to 10 kilometers per second. Only 1 to 2% of total mass expelled. Small gas cloud. Below detection threshold in November images. Explains absence of visible tail. Explains compact morphology. Physics preserved. Observations explained. The composition is engineered. Nickel-rich alloys. Structural materials. Corrosion resistant. Radiation hardened. Designed for interstellar environment. For billions of years in deep space. For extreme temperatures near stars. Industrial composition is intentional. Functional, not natural. Water content is irrelevant. The object is not ice-rich comet. It is spacecraft. Contains propellant tanks, reaction mass. Not frozen volatiles, stored chemicals, released through nozzles, controlled burns. Precise maneuvers. Water is minor component. Structure and systems dominate. The timing is planned. Visit multiple planets. Maximize data collection. Perform perihelion burn while hidden from Earth. Minimize detection. Complete mission objectives. Logical strategy. Optimal trajectory. Not coincidence. Design. The anomalies are features, not bugs, not problems. Expected characteristics of artificial object. different from natural bodies, obviously different, measurably different. The weirdness is signal, not noise. The improbabilities are clues, not flukes. This scenario explains everything. Every anomaly, every measurement, every observation. Internally consistent, mathematically coherent, physically sound. All data fit. No contradictions, no forced explanations. Clean, simple, complete. This scenario is extraordinary. Requires accepting extraterrestrial intelligence. Requires accepting interstellar travel. Requires accepting alien probe in our solar system right now. These are profound claims, paradigm-shifting claims, civilization-altering claims. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Is the evidence extraordinary enough? 10 anomalies. Statistical improbability below 0.001%. Missing gas cloud despite required mass loss. Rapid brightening. Blue color. Nickel composition. Timing precision. How much evidence is enough? The scientific method requires falsifiability, requires testable predictions. Both scenarios make predictions, different predictions. December observations will test them. Natural scenario predicts massive gas cloud. Webb telescope will detect strong emissions. Carbon dioxide, water, carbon monoxide. Quantities consistent with 13% mass loss. Cloud tens of millions of kilometers across. Expanding at hundreds of meters per second. Spectroscopy will reveal composition, will measure abundances, will confirm natural sublimation. Technological scenario predicts minimal emissions. Webb will find small amounts of gas. Residual outgassing, cooling exhaust, not massive cloud, not 13% of nucleus mass. Composition may show unusual ratios, unusual molecules, potential industrial signatures, but overall activity level much lower than natural prediction. These predictions are distinguishable. Factor of 10 difference, factor of 100, easily measurable, unambiguous. The observations will favor one scenario, will disfavor the other. Science will progress. If Webb finds massive cloud, natural scenario is validated. 3. I. Atlas is unusual comet, extreme composition, bizarre properties, but natural, from alien star system. Just very different from solar system comets. The anomalies are real but explainable. Alien normal is Earth abnormal, mystery solved. Uncomfortable conclusions avoided. If Webb finds minimal emissions, technological scenario gains support. Not proof, not certainty, but significant support. Bayesian update. Prior probabilities shift. Hypothesis gains credibility. Further observations required. More tests needed. But the door opens. The possibility becomes serious. The conversation changes. What happens then? If evidence points toward artificial origin, what follows? Scientific community debates, papers publish, conferences convene, data scrutinized, alternative explanations proposed, tested, rejected, or accepted. Process continues. Science works. Public reaction is different. News spreads. Media covers. Social platforms explode. Speculation runs wild. Some celebrate, some fear, some deny. Governments get involved. Militaries assess. Diplomatic channels activate. United Nations discusses. Protocols engage. But 3I Atlas does not wait. It continues outward, moving away. Speed increasing. Heading back to interstellar space. Will pass Jupiter in March 2026. Then, exit solar system. Gone forever. Cannot be recalled. Cannot be intercepted. Too fast. Too far. Trajectory is set. The window closes. December is critical. Final chance for detailed observations. After that, object becomes too faint, too distant, lost in deep space. Opportunity ends. If we miss this chance, we never get another. If 3I Atlas is probe, it came here once, will not return, must learn what we can now. What would probe reveal about its builders? Technological sophistication is obvious. Interstellar travel, billions of years operation, propulsion systems, navigation, autonomous operation. This implies advanced civilization, very advanced. Type 2 on Kardashev scale, perhaps, or beyond. Their intentions are unknown. Reconnaissance suggests scientific interest. Study other star systems, catalog planets, search for life, perhaps search for intelligence, benign goals, peaceful exploration. Like human interstellar probe concepts, Voyager, Pioneer, New Horizons, ambassadors to cosmos. Or intentions could differ. Resource assessment, threat evaluation, invasion preparation. These are darker possibilities, less pleasant scenarios, more dangerous implications. The probe behavior gives few clues. Scientific observation is indistinguishable from military reconnaissance. Same sensors, same data, different purposes. Humanity cannot know builders' intentions, cannot communicate, cannot negotiate, cannot ask questions. The probe is autonomous, pre-programmed, following ancient instructions. No dialogue possible, no interaction available. We are observed, cannot observe back. Asymmetric situation, uncomfortable position. Some suggest attempting contact, radio transmissions, laser signals directed toward 3I Atlas, messages of greeting, mathematical proofs, cultural information, evidence of intelligence, hope for response. Before object departs, before opportunity ends. Others urge caution. Do not reveal ourselves. Do not announce presence. Unknown intentions are dangerous. Contact might trigger hostility, might invite attention we do not want. Better to observe silently, learn quietly, maintain low profile, wait for more information. This debate is premature. First, determine if object is artificial. Then, debate contact. Then, assess risks. Then, decide response. Evidence comes first. Speculation follows. Action follows that. Proper order, scientific order, rational order. December 2025 provides evidence. Webb telescope observes. Data returns. Analysis proceeds. Results publish. Community evaluates. Consensus forms. Or does not form. Either way, knowledge increases. Understanding improves. Questions get answered. Or new questions emerge. Perhaps Webb data is ambiguous. Gas cloud is present but smaller than predicted. Larger than expected for technology. Between scenarios. Intermediate result. This would complicate interpretation. Would require refined models. Better theories. More observations. Science continues. Perhaps Webb data is contradictory. Shows features inconsistent with both scenarios. New anomalies. Unexpected signatures. Molecules that should not exist. Ratios that make no sense. This would force rethinking. Would demand new hypotheses. Would expand possibility space. The universe surprises us. Constantly. Repeatedly. Every new discovery brings unexpected details. Nature is subtle. Reality is complex. Simple explanations often fail. Truth is nuanced. This may be such case. 3. I. Atlas may be neither simple comet nor simple probe. Maybe something else, something we have not imagined. We will learn soon. 4 weeks, from November 5th, early December. Web observation window, data downlink, processing time, publication. The timeline is set. The countdown runs. The clock ticks. 3. I-Atlas carries answers. About its nature, about its origin, about the galaxy's diversity, about possible civilizations, about humanity's place in cosmos. The object is messenger, intentional or accidental, designed or natural. It brings information from beyond, from elsewhere, from the vast dark between stars. We stand at threshold of knowledge, of discovery, of potential paradigm shift. The evidence accumulates. The data points toward conclusions, uncomfortable conclusions perhaps, revolutionary conclusions possibly, but conclusions nonetheless. December will reveal truth or deeper mystery, answer or better questions, natural explanation or technological confirmation. The observations will speak, the measurements will testify, physics will judge. Until then, we wait, we watch, we wonder. The interstellar visitor moves through our solar system, silent, enigmatic, carrying secrets from distant realms, perhaps just frozen rock and ice from alien star, perhaps something far more significant. Time will tell. 4 weeks, the most important month in human history, or just another month studying another comet. December 2025 decides.